I can do that.
Please.
Louisa Hussein? Here. Deanne Andrews? Here. Chuck Flynn?
Present.
Holly Wilson? Here. And we have Stephanie Chuck. Absent. Braylon Moats. Is absent, and then Rebecca Price.
Stephanie's an excused absence, right?
Yes.
We knew, okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. All right, next would be the, consider approval of the minutes. Anybody have any corrections or suggestions or anything for the minutes? They look okay? Guess you need a motion second, right?
Yes, yes.
I would entertain that.
Pension, everyone's back.
Perfect. Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Next item would be the citizen comment period. We have every meeting. I don't see any citizens here to comment, so guess we'll move past that. Staff reports and presentations. So, Chris, that looks like you're up.
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. Good evening. Chris Escoto, Parks Deputy Director. Today, I do want to introduce a new staff member that we have joined the team. She is on her 4th day. Tamara Aquino. I'll let her talk a little bit about herself, but just want to recognize her a little bit. She joins us from the city of Dallas, where she played a key role in several partnerships. And with the community garden, relying on a lot of partnership opportunities, she's going to be a key staff member, take really our processes to the next step. So we do currently have a partnership agreement. However, we're looking to expand on that and figure out how we can get out there a little bit more. So from an education standpoint, from a partnership standpoint, just outreach in general, she has a lot of experience in that. So I just want to let her know that she has joined a great team, that we have a vision in place. I'm hopeful that the committee will support as well, in the sense of how we're going to get, all of our assets within the city, not necessarily community garden, but our trails. How are we connecting just parks in general and the quality of life here for the city of Kyle? So with that, I'm not sure if Tamara has anything prepared for you guys, but just want to give it a chance.
Hey guys, good to meet you. I'm excited. I need to go. We have a visit. I think we have a scheduled visit next week to go visit the garden. So I'm excited to see what y'all are putting y'all's hearts and efforts into. So again, just thank you for giving up your time, coming again through the storm, because y'all are so passionate about this and I love it. It's exciting, and I love anything that helps with improved quality of life. And with that, I think a lot of people's goals are that. So it's really helpful and really easy to make partnerships. We just got to have the right connections and then get how we can meet each other's goals that would improve whatever amenity or facet that we're trying to grow. So I can't wait to visit and see what y'all are thinking about and get to know your goals for Envision with the garden. And I'm so excited to be here. Thanks.
That's cool, welcome.
And then I'll jump on the little presentation. I'll just hit on the overview and I'll pass it over to Stacy. So today we're going to just be providing a monthly report of pretty much catching up to where we were from last month's reporting. I know Stacy has some follow-up from that, which we're going to be talking about food donations. There's been conversations on how to improve our communication tools, training aspects with videos, as well as there were some updates on the water timing that we do have some updates for. shared documents. There was a discussion on how can we exchange contacts, so we did get some direction on that. And there are other updates that Stacy's wonderful, herself and her team have been wonderful about going out there and being proactive with some of those. So with that, I'll pass it over to Stacy.
All right, so the city has determined that the charity to which the donations are given is pretty much up to the garden partners. It's just something that they didn't want to get into really. Two programs that are known that would accept produce are Hayes Action Inc. of Central Texas and the Hayes County Food Bank, which actually I found that out with Faye with the garden committee. So-
Yes, that's how we're donating ours too.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know if anybody had any questions on that.
Is Hayes County Food Bank who came?
Yeah, about when we first started, yes. But they did say they would take small donations, whereas before when they came, they made it sounded different. So,
Okay.
and then the community action was Angie Budd. She came and did. Any questions? Great. So then next, the communications department for the training and news update, which I know that you guys are all pretty hopefully excited about. The communications department recommended using social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to share practical gardening skills with both new and experienced gardeners. Key priorities were outlined and a framework for upcoming projects was initiated.
We go back a little bit. I know that was a meeting that was held last week, I believe. So there is some ideas the staff has established to provide some next steps on how we can further advance these informations to these platforms. So that's something that staff is still trying to figure out with our communications department, but just wanted to let you all know that we have had that meeting and we are getting that in progress. So we'll be able to, unless you have some updates on what those visions could be, I think we could probably even get that on next agenda item on this is how we're going to take action on these specific topics. It seems like she does have a bit of that.
So so the city website, you guys have asked about like a web page, and they're pretty much saying now that they can do that. I need to send her contact information, plot map, available plots, hours, rules, basically everything else we've worked on for the past year. Links to volunteer for the rec desk page for sign up. And then she can build us a page. There will be a link for rec desk for available plots and any volunteer hours and stuff like that as well. And then one of the other things was the Kyle 10 dedicated city YouTube channel you guys had mentioned, kind of curious questions about. She would like us to come back with a list of 4 videos for 2025. YouTube Kyle 10 works with a longer format, so she was still saying like maybe a 3 to 5 minute range. But their biggest thing is they want to make sure that we make it local. Example, native bee, like top 5 native bees, top 5 pests, top 5 plants. Things, very local to our area. Why reinvent the wheel? Let's focus on.
Well, not necessarily specific to the community garden itself.
You can do that as well, but for the trainings that you guys had mentioned, they want to make sure that it's very local so that everybody can benefit. So.
Question. So I know, I feel we spent quite a bit of time talking about this. We talked about trainings that could be beneficial for anyone just wanting to just expand their garden knowledge, but also trainings in relation to the orientation. Would that be the Kyle 10? Would they host some of those orientation videos or?
They were talking about maybe that falling under the next item, which would be like the Facebook, Instagram, like a smaller 45-second. So the Facebook, Instagram would be for posting stories, photos, upcoming events. So they were saying start with short 45-second long videos, seasonally or monthly. For now, it'd probably be like early, to start. Communications will not be able to attend until March. So basically, if we could work that out and come up with our ideas so that I can send it to Rachel ahead of time so that she knows, hey, here's some ideas so that they can kind of be on the same page.
And the orientation can probably live on the website. So if the website is something that we incorporate, maybe it's gonna be on that landing page. That's gonna be like a welcome to the garden club. Here's a general orientation on the ins and outs, basically. So that could be a video that could probably live in there. But ultimately, if it is a video that is featured on whatever platform, usually it'll have some type of YouTube link as well, that it's gonna be house of YouTube. If an individual wants to search, they probably have to be very specific with saying Kyle, one-on-one video or something, but they will probably be able to locate that on YouTube as well.
So the 45-second thing, that's like reels for Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, she says 45 seconds to a minute is what they would like to keep the Facebook type ones to. We can do the longer videos on the Kyle 10 and the YouTube channel. And they were also talking about like make a 45-second reel for Facebook that segues into, check out Kyle 10 for, additional information.
That's like just promos.
Yeah,
Not instruction. Yes.
yeah, it sounded like.
Unless we,
there's-
go
yeah.
5 times the speed and try to capture it in 45 seconds.
Would, I'm not really too familiar with the Kyle 10, is that like a public YouTube?
She said that, because I don't watch TV, so she said that it's actually a normal like news station that is,
okay.
that has, it's,
It's a channel,
yeah,
Okay,
so it's a
On
local
YouTube?
channel.
no,
No,
it's,
okay.
on local broadcast TV. Yeah, so I guess it's Kyle 10 being channel 10.
I. I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna ask her,
We'll get back to you.
I don't watch TV.
So then the 3 to 5 minute videos would be on just local. Okay,
Yeah,
and then I think you mentioned a YouTube also, that would be specific to the garden community.
that
Or
could
community
be,
garden, okay.
yes. And like I said, any questions, we could totally put that together and Rachel will be more than happy to help, answer the rest of those. I tried to cover the majority of it, but, and the reason it didn't make it here is because that meeting was Monday or Tuesday.
I think it was last week that you guys had that, or maybe it was this week.
I think it was the 6th.
And is there, based on that outline, I didn't realize there were some talking points. Is there any recommendations or guidance on what those topics may be that we could bring back a presentation, a dedicated item just on this for next month's meeting that we could focus on, that maybe you'll like to see? Even if it's generalities and we could bring back some ideas.
You're asking for like video ideas?
Correct.
And the hope was to have 4 videos for 2025.
And this was for the YouTube, for the crop town.
This was for
I looked up Kyle 10 YouTube. Basically, Kyle 10 is a channel, and you can stream it live on YouTube. So I think that's it.
Yes, I'm confused, yeah.
she would,
3 to 5 minute videos.
she would like to do 4 videos for the Kyle 10, so about 3 to 5 minutes long.
I would really like to cover pesticides because I think one of my concerns with people with gardening is the types of pesticides they use and just the general overuse. Like when I work at the Master Gardener info tables, how many people are like, well, I saw an insect, so I started, spraying dianthanon or, some other toxic thing that's like totally overkill and it's, then you're killing all the pollinators and then, it's a chain reaction.
So
She
is
said she wants to focus on local stuff.
there a way
So
that we
focus
could
on,
work?
like local pests. And
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and how, yeah,
Right,
And then the approach is actually just like
right.
what you want with the video, but we can
Smart, yes.
focus on local pests.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean,
That's
as soon as you start trying to garden, that
Yeah.
question comes up.
People see a pest and they automatically think I need to treat, and it's like, well, no, you need to let, the natural things happen. It's just when it gets overwhelmed and,
Yeah.
And then you wanna treat.
What do you all think about, I don't know, I feel like we can localize it as much as possible, but I know for new gardeners, they have an idea of like, I wanna grow this, but they're not thinking about the season or what does well in this area in general. So they might not come in contact with success because they're not growing the right thing at the right time.
Right, yeah.
What to plant and when, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
top 5 plants in spring.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They said the
Yeah.
top five, that was another thing, that the top five lists are a really big draw.
But hey, if it gets the eyeballs, then that's what matters, right?
That would be funny if you're the one like creating the top 5.
I'm happy to. I mean, if it accomplishes our goal, right?
That's good.
Do something with the, PDS, the compost.
Yeah, compost.
Yeah, it's in the city of Kyle and gardening.
That's another one. There's a lot of misinformation and do this and do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, buy this widget, they'll make compost in 2 weeks and, oh boy,
Right?
it doesn't work. I bought 2 of them.
Yeah, no.
So is compost
that's
something
perfect.
that can be like different on different locations? Or is
Well,
it pretty,
We
I
can
mean,
talk about the composting in the community garden, but we can also talk about like getting compost from PDS.
Yeah, which is local.
Yeah,
Yeah,
local.
also kind of tying into compost. I've seen a lot of people do interesting things with compost. So I've seen them some confusion around what to compost, what goes in kind of like what piles, but then also, actually, a few gardeners starting out that they've done a lot of research about being able to compost within the garden. So like things that you can kind of put in, whether it's like just straight eggs with like just things that you probably shouldn't put in the garden, and they've had
Yeah,
kind of ties into some of the pests too, things that you might get depending on what you're trying to
right.
compost, like, because some people like dig down deep, try to bury it, and then it's just not really getting the outcome that they want. So I think we can talk about compost, but also different ways to compost and
Yeah.
kind of walk through.
Yeah, I was actually I was gonna do a composting class probably next time around, like February for
the hour,
garden.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of like early gardeners are like, oh, great, I'll stop throwing away my food scraps and I'll just put this in the yard.
Oh, yeah,
I
they'll
have a
like
bunch of
put it,
raccoons, so-
they'll
Well,
put it in the soil and it somehow like, oh, here, I'll just put a little piece of
Yeah.
broccoli right here and expect
Chicken,
something.
a chicken bone would be good.
I'll do some crazy things like, oh, I poured milk on my garden for the calcium.
One more.
So going back just for a second to the top five list, sorry. Because I'm not a gardener, say if we started this list in March for the video, what would we be planting in March? Is that
Literally
Tomatoes.
everything? Okay, so that's an easy one. Okay.
Yeah,
that would be the best time to do it.
Yeah.
I wonder if not the idea of like what we should be planting around that season, but also like what we should no longer be, like if it was at the end of its like life cycle, to be aware of that, so that way you aren't trying to keep something alive that like really should be not in your garden anymore. So maybe
Yeah.
this should be moving out of your garden, this should be coming into your garden.
You can also do a, like overwintering thing. Or like a winter garden in Texas, because we actually keep growing a bunch of stuff that's really specific to here. Like we have a very different climate here than
Yes.
even in Houston and Dallas, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
winter garden is very different here.
Yeah.
Winter gardening usually.
March is probably pretty early for top 5 winter garden now.
I was thinking it's like the fourth video.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a winter garden.
You're right.
You were right.
I thought we were still working on what to put in March. No, you're right.
Do you want more
For
plants?
fourth video, that's.
I think
yeah.
I'll put it on the agenda. We can talk about more just.
No, maybe you want more plants for the top 5.
Oh, yeah,
Salad greens.
Yeah, I mean, you could do top 5 greens for Kyle, top 5 tomatoes. Everybody
Yeah.
tries to grow tomatoes.
I know even like with tomatoes, like there's the window to grow like slicers versus cherries are gonna vary too, so.
Just for clarification, I did just search. Tile 10 is a Spectrum cable channel. And you can also see it on the City of Cali. Goodbye.
and then one of the other questions that communications had was if one of you was interested in being the face and or voiceover person.
I'd love to be the voice.
So would that bother you if you went out to the garden and they did the videos there with you there, or do you want it scripted, or that was some of the other things that they.
Yeah,
talked
I'm
about.
not good with scripted because then I worry about stumbling over my words. Usually when I'm teaching or something, I have an outline. So like if I forget where I was headed, I can like, oh, that's where I was going next, right?
Okay,
So, yeah, I don't necessarily script, like I don't write out word for word what I'm gonna say. Just pull up point it.
What's the other things you need for the website?
so I've got contact information, plot map, available plots that is currently listed on RecDesk, hours, rules, gardener orientation, some photos, the link to RecDesk.
I think that was
I
it.
think that was it, unless
I
there's
don't know
something.
what it was the volunteer hours I was gonna ask about. Who, well, I just wanna know, like, are we supposed to set, like, how do they sign up? Are we supposed to give them a list and how many people and the times and all that?
Right now is what I've been doing is email and like asking, here's the things, and they picked what they wanted to do and they've just stuck with it since they started.
Okay.
But we are gonna move it to RecDesk where they can go on and like,
But you
oh,
have a
this,
list of like what's needed.
yes, I made one of those. And if there's anything else that you think I'm missing for the garden webpage, but I. Okay. Okay,
I'm really excited to see based on the rec desk. I actually have people signed up for my class on the 18th. I have 7 people.
oh, nice.
I'm so excited.
Like, I know, right?
Like the last 2 times.
I know. Did anybody else have any more input for the training/news update?
No, but just one question. I know we talked about eventually having events, that we're gonna put on. Would that also maybe a section on the website for events?
And we can make a face for it during the radio.
To tie it in.
Essentials.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
you'd be really good at them. You should do those.
No.
Like at your grade, at your Billy and Jean's grade, share your
And then-
vegetable garden.
So I will bring it back also next month on the agenda, well, at least for some events ideas. I know we kind of some around before, but since things are kind of
How's
moving in
the
that direction.
greenhouse doing?
It is warm.
Cause right now, it is, okay,
Yeah.
cause right now. Well, 2 weeks from now, we should start all the seeds for March.
Okay.
So like, we should start tomatoes, eggplants and cucumbers in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we
I
can,
will make sure
but we can do
have
the
it
events if we wanted, that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
in the greenhouse.
Where's your-
I'll
Freeze.
Yeah, and the next slide is just some ideas that Stacy had outlined, which we covered.
Because I kind of jumped. Yeah, so seasonal gardening techniques, sustainable practices, tool maintenance and safety, garden planning, design workshops. Community building activities. I mean, if you wanna start a list on events, we could do it now too, or we could wait, it's up to you.
I guess for me, when it comes to events, I'd like to know what our goals are and then kind of creating that. concern. Okay, so I know we've talked in the past about eventually maybe having like a plant sale that can kind of bring some people out, get some plants, they can kind of actually take that back and continue just kind of gardening in their own kind of private areas, but then also the funds for that, we can like be able to actually pour back to the garden in different ways, outreach, things like that. And we've talked about being able to do like the farmers market, and that was a possibility. So I have a lot of ideas. I just am not sure what are the purpose of some of our events are, what we want to accomplish.
And even also what's permissible for you, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Into the next
so
month.
we'll come back with some ideas
Yeah.
and seeing what parameters we have. That way we can set the stage.
Sure.
And if we want to outline, yeah, some goals, what is it that we're trying to achieve? Is it purely education or is it more of a promotion of trying to get them to get a plot in the future? I don't necessarily know. So those are items that we could definitely back with.
I know, I think in the beginning of the garden, there was a lot of communication with Tobias, as far as the process being interested in coming to the garden. And participating in just maintaining the plot, so some education pieces there, and then, yeah, so I know we've talked. But those parameters would be really helpful.
Yeah, I also think just letting the city people know that we're here and that we have it, because when I talk about our community garden plot at the Kyle Garden Club, people still look at me like they're confused. Even though I'm showing them pictures and things like that, like.
Yeah.
So, even though I've mentioned it like 3 different meetings now.
And it's also a branding thing, right? And so that's something
Yeah.
that, our team is currently working on, and we're hoping to get that recognition of the assets that we do have and the ones that we're gonna continue to build upon. So, I agree with that.
Yeah. We talked so much about that community building is a huge part of it, right? Like the wanting just a space for people to gather. So yes, I want to hear all the parameters of the events, and also I want to keep in mind that like they don't have to make money, they don't have to be educational and all those
Yeah,
things. That's
of
like a
course.
big part of it is also just getting people who live near each other to be together.
Yeah,
And make space.
absolutely.
Yeah. If we do something like a plant sale, though, I might have to work on timing, because I know in March, the Kyle Garden Club has a plant sale. There's the sustainability fair in San Marcos, and the Master Gardeners have a plant sale. So if we were to do one, maybe we would be more like fall rather than a March one, because there's already so many well-known ones out there. Which actually is good, because they give us time to prepare.
Do they do garden tours or just plant sales?
Which,
Either of those groups.
oh, the Kyle Garden Club, so we have a plot, and in June. We do like go to different members' houses kind of tour for those members who are willing to allow
Oh,
people to
nice.
go visit their gardens, so we do that. The Master Gardeners, we don't do a garden tour though. We do have community gardens, so like. Sorry, I'm tired, it's been a week for me. Words are not coming to me today. They have demonstration gardens, they have demonstration gardens. And like even at the public library, that garden in the back, that's taken care of by the Master Gardeners.
Thank you.
Okay, we ready to move on?
So yeah, a few more slides.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the water timing, there was a variance that we talked about at last. Applicable during daylight savings hours, only with handheld water, as long as we're in the stage 3. Amended stage 3. Staff recommends granting a variance to the Post Oak Community Code, allowing them to water during the garden's operating hours. We anticipate this issue will reoccur annually due to daylight savings time. Therefore, we recommend making this variance permanent, applicable every year for the initiation of daylight savings time in fall to the termination in the subsequent year, as long as we remain in amended stage 3 drought restrictions. The variance will permit only hand watering with a positive shutoff nozzle attached to the emitting end.
So basically fall till spring is when there's a variance allowed.
Any questions? And then the shared document, we had kind of discussed that the last time, and the idea to collect input and ideas from garden committee members regarding training videos, classes, and events. And it was determined that this approach would not work due to the Open Records Act, so we won't be able to do that, which I kind of figured, but I wanted to make sure, so. And then the Oyas are a crucial part of water management in the garden. Staff will ensure replacement happens promptly. Staff built 10 additional Oyos and placed them in the tool shed for people as needed, and I will make sure I check fairly often to replace them if we need more.
Yes, thank you for that. I took one.
No problem.
Replace the one that we had that was broken in our plot.
And then compost signage. I didn't put the picture in, I'm sorry. It was just a laminated pit card that updated that for the weeded trash can in the garden. New signage just provides clear instruction on what can and cannot be composted, helping to improve composting practices and reduce contamination.
Yeah, saw that. That was great. It looks like people are doing much better. But now we have the problem of, yeah, like what Chuck was saying earlier, you have to really have a certain amount of compost for it to really kind of heat up and break down.
Mhm.
So now we have people starting to put them in the January to June,
So I should just move on.
where there's, yeah, I'm thinking we should just move what's in the June to December over to the January
it
to
gets going.
June, so
Okay,
that we have that. And then are we going to get like an addition like of nitrogen, like dying leaves, like brown leaves or anything to make a hot compost? Or are we just gonna allow the pile to decompose from like what people are adding? Are we stirring this up? I mean,
I can add these because I can get a
Sorry,
part.
Apple, so,
yeah.
yeah. Definitely.
So adding leaves will help plus what we have. in
Yeah,
stirring.
because you need nitrogen and carbon in the compost pile. You actually need like about 75% like brown leaves, like brown matter, cardboard, things like that. And about 25% of green, like the vegetables that people and plants that people are throwing in.
One other thing I was wondering is with the, I didn't think about it earlier, but with the compost, I'm wondering. Cause right now it's time based, so each phase is based on time, like you mentioned, like January to the next. I wonder if it'd be beneficial to switch it or to remove the time base and just.
What looks
have-
like,
Have something that says like this is like. Some kind of indication that this is no longer, we're not having this anymore, so whether it's like an X or like. Just some
Okay.
indicator that like, we're
Use
now
this.
filling this one versus that one, use that like you said.
Mm.
Cause depending on the occupancy of the, like, of the beds and just how many partners we have, that could influence how full we're getting.
Okay.
I don't know if the time works.
I'll build one. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, because we want to make sure if a pile's done,
Mhm.
people aren't adding to it,
Mhm.
because
Then it messes it
then
up.
that's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay,
Good action.
it's like the next agenda item is consider nomination for annual elections of chair and vice chair duties. So those people aren't here tonight, we can sure just draft them right in.
Stephanie will ask around, so that if there were,
I said she was one.
yeah, if no one else wanted to, that they're not right, we'd be fine to let it be.
The next thing.
Oh.
Both your grants.
That's a great moment.
I guess we need a nomination for chair, so.
I'm about to pull up the presentation and, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm
We-
sorry.
But we will need a nomination.
Look at that. All right, must have a there.
Sorry about that. Computer skills. So every year, boards and committees nominate a chair and vice chair. Elections are outlined in the City of Kyle Code of Ordinance 2-57, which states that the committees shall determine a chairperson and vice chairperson. So we could nominate and elect a chair and vice chair. Or if you guys want to wait. Because I mean, they said that they would, they said that they were okay doing it again, but we've moved it twice.
I feel
So-
comfortable to think, and I already said that they'd be interested in doing it. Voting, nominating Stephanie and Raylan, but.
I
if
kind of
everyone
would like
wants
to nominate Louisa for
Oh my
one of the
goodness.
positions. Because, so I'll just say this, I've been here to 3 meetings and Louisa has been the only one who's been here for all 3 of the meetings. Right, and that's just something to think about, right? It's like, why should we nominate?
And you have been.
I have enough on my plate. But I'm just saying,
Nicely
if we're putting people into these leadership positions, I feel like they should be reliably here.
I will say that this committee is actually really good, and most people usually are.
But 2 of the people have not been here. 2 of the 3 meetings. And I'm sure they had valid reasons, but that doesn't, I don't necessarily feel comfortable making them in a leadership role because of that.
I will say for Stephanie, she is on maternity leave, so.
Well, and that, yeah,
but-
I'm not talking about her. She's been here for every meeting except for obviously this one, she just had a kid. I get that.
She said that she would do it.
I feel comfortable with that.
Chair.
I will second that.
Well, I think that.
And I nominate Louisa to be vice chair.
I'll second that.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to? That would be the question.
Yeah, I guess we all in favor.
No.
So,
So, I think. I don't know if I have the capacity. I think that's the only thing that's gonna hold me back.
I think you're very capable.
Oh, I mean, like, just like. Like you said, for yourself, as far as having a lot of things going on, I feel like I do also. I mean, it's just a commitment. Outside of the universe. I feel like
What's the end, of the term?
July or August? I think it might be July.
okay. Very weak right now.
Like,
I
I can't, I won't be here for the June. July. But that'll make me, I can do it for 3 more minutes. On Thursdays.
and for clarification, you're saying it's an annual position, so this time next year is when we'll have to be doing the same process all over again.
If the board is,
If it's renewed,
yes.
gotcha, okay. Alright, so I heard first and the
I would do
second.
If
Is
but
there-
you have to know I will not be here at the June, July meeting. And I'll be here February, March, April, May, and then back again August. I would do it. If everyone's okay with that, knowing he will not be here June, July.
Or, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, there's a motion on the floor.
Do you want to pass or are you? 'Cause the-
Is there much responsibility outside of the meeting for these positions?
I don't do it.
Not really.
I think that's the only thing I'll
That's
do.
what I'm saying. I was like, I don't think they're really doing much outside the meeting.
You nominated Lisa, and I'm gonna second.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, back up.
Holly nominated.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ollie
I nominate
nominated and then
Louisa.
Chuck
Oh, Chuck,
provided a
right,
second,
second.
so then we,
Okay,
all
so
in favor. Get-
Do I have a vote for Stephanie as chair and Louisa as vice chair?
Aye.
Thank you guys, no, it's okay.
Yeah, Leanne, you're aye as well.
No.
That's I said, you and I as well.
Oh, yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Congratulations. Your husband's mouth.
It's just, it's gonna be interesting.
So,
Anything else?
okay, so our
This thing?
next meeting is February 13th at 6:15. And other than that, if there is a motion for. I feel like I'm reading something, but is there anything you guys wanted to see on the agenda next month? Let me ask that first.
We already have a plan to talk about the orientation video next month.
Yes.
Okay. Will you talk about events that's in there?
Mhm.
There's the vendors.
Yeah, so we'll solidify, based on this monthly report, that we just presented last item. We'll solidify the parameters for the events. We will provide updates on what that website, I'm not sure how fast our communication department can move on setting that up, but at least we can have an orientation video of. You know, what that criteria may look like. We could at least start with that and provide that as an update. And then we'll probably be bringing something soon regarding partnerships. We are working on updating our partnerships or clarifying some components within our partnership contract. So that may be something that we bring back as well for next.
Excellent.
And then if it's not in next month, that's great, but. The outlines for the videos, for Kyle 10. Do those.
Yes.
Did somebody want a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Excellent. Second.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? No. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.